I hope I'm never sitting courtside. Shit happened so quick it felt like there was no time. Body was programmed just to always be on go time. I thank the clouds that I'm free. This ain't shit that all the homies can be. Running from the lies, slip and get up. Thinking about the bullshit, leading right up. Mama told me one day you run out of luck. Now I'm looking up, quick tail catching up. Born into that trench mind, niggas had no straight mind. Only thing we know is break a bitch and push that bread line. Head be filled with crazy shit like shorty, had my head tied like bitch. You know you ain't coming to me about no bedtime. Ain't no keep it real, I really feel like the pressure is really on me. I know pressure is a bitch, but I don't let feelings control me. I know I've been getting cold and my niggas was flaking on me. So I had to bet some bitches at some parties. But don't blame me for it, don't blame me for it. I'm too cheap for it. Just watch me going, no brakes, just keep top speed flowing. Bless me, test me, line me up, I know that I'm the next thing. Praying till don't catch me and arrest me. Hope that every night I make it in my best sleep. I hope I'm never sitting courtside. Shit happened so quick it felt like there was no time. Body was programmed just to always be on go time. I thank the clouds that I'm free. This ain't shit that all the homies can be. I hope I'm never sitting courtside. Shit happened so quick it felt like there was no time. Body was programmed just to always be on go time. I thank the clouds that I'm free. This ain't shit that all the homies can be. Running from the lies, slip and get up. Even about the bullshit, leading right up. Mama told me one day you run out of luck. Now I'm looking up, control catching up. Alright, I ain't resist, but don't take my chain. No, you can't search my shit. Know how it goes. These is praying that shit. Give me my chance before my grave is dig. Bless me, test me, line me up, I know that I'm the next thing. Praying till don't catch me and arrest me. Hope that every night I make it in my best sleep. I hope I'm never sitting courtside. Shit happened so quick it felt like there was no time. Body was programmed just to always be on go time. I thank the clouds that I'm free. This ain't shit that all the homies can be. Running from the lies, slip and get up. Thinking about the bullshit, leading right up. Mama told me one day you run out of luck. Now I'm looking up, quick tail catching up. Catching up.
YGF beats, baby.
Elevate my hustle, gotta get your stress. Cause you the kind of girl I wanna make to my wife. Ain't no point that anyone can make a know they ain't right. They can't tell me how I feel or what could be in my life. For all of mine I kill. Told you many times you really mine for real. Cause something about your eyes always shine for real. Stick it out with me as you gon' sign the deal. For all of mine I kill. Told you many times you really mine for real. Cause something about your eyes really shine for real. Stick it out with me as you gon' sign the deal, yeah. Little crazy light, baby, feeling on her lately. Heavy on my mental, so I'm in a booth for wavy. See me, I don't give a fuck, I'm open, I ain't shady. These niggas see it, so they hating. Sipping bottles again, dug in all of the feds. Putting lows inside the cover, we ain't splitting no bread. Getting all these different fabrics off your neck and your head. Hope that karma ain't gon' get me for what's coming ahead. My baby says she wanna love song. 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 I'ma sing her this love song. Sing her this love song. Yeah, I'ma sing it to you. Elevate my hustle, gotta get your stress. Cause you the kind of girl I wanna make to my wife. Ain't no point that anyone can make a know they ain't right. They can't tell me how I feel or what could be in my life. For all of mine I kill. Told you many times you really mine for real. Cause something about your eyes
hey y'all
for real. Stick it out with me as you gon'
hey
the deal. For all of mine I kill. kill. Told you many times you really
Release
lost for real. Cause some bet your eyes really
DJ
shine for real. Stick
Rodney
it out with me as you gon' sign the deal, yes.
King
Something really
Nandada
shine for real. Something really shine for
Nasty
real. Something
No
really
Intellect
shine for
Mouth
real.
Clone Thoughts
In your eyes it shine for
Good
real.
David
For all the
Focus
minds I
Mind My
kill. Told
Lisa
you many
I
times you
see
really
ya. Hey
minds for real.
Bridget
Take it out with me as you gon'
see
sign the deal. Stick it out with me as you gon' ride.
Hey
For all the
now
minds I kill. Told you many times you really minds for real.
Hey
Stick
everybody
it out with me
watching
as you gon' sign the deal. Baby, is you mine?
Yeah
YGF beats, baby.
so y'all we got a lot of let me see yeah we got a lot of slides today because first thing first, let me get this down. First thing first, I want to say is over the last 2 months, I say the months of October and pretty much November, I've been out of work on leave, getting my health back together. And I'm back to work. I went back last Monday. And so I won't be going live random hours. It'll strictly be anytime on the weekdays. It'll always be 3 o'clock and on. Few things remember, I'm not being rude, but I don't answer my phone, or nor am I in my studio in my home during my work hours. So if I don't answer the phone, it's not that I'm being rude. I'm at work, and when I'm at work, I don't even leave my workstation unless, of course, I run to the ladies' room or in the kitchen to get coffee. So if I'm not answering my phone, I'm not being rude. I just don't answer my phone literally when I'm at work because I just don't. If I see my daughter's number, I'm like, yeah, pick it up. But I'm really working, and I have a lot. I do have a very busy job. Um, I'm glad to be back. Working. Um, the next thing I wanted to say, I did send out an email that was out of frustration to the math team. We will be resuming Algebra 2 after the Christmas holiday, beginning in the first week of January. We'll start back on Sundays, same tutor. And I let him know he's aware too. I just need a break, y'all. I'm doing so much. I got my full-time job. I got my part-time job, with the newspaper, and then that runs in connection with YouTube. So I was doing a whole lot. And met some really great people along the way. Um, hey Kurt, um, I reaffiliated myself with a lot of political folks that I've been involved with for over 30 years, maybe 40 at this point, and starting to do some work with them as far as our tribe is concerned. So I'll be very, very, very busy. Very busy. I got energized. I got my energy back. Um, I start back walking tomorrow. So on my little 15-minute break, I'll be doing my little quick 2 mile walk, brisk walks like I've used to. That's that. That pretty much is that. But today, I really want to get into, and I hope everybody is all right and feeling good as well. But today, what we're going to get into, we talked about the mass deportation. And I already gave you my opinion on that. I mean, we are the United States citizens. And a lot of us are Indians. We are already here. And we're Indians, but we're citizens of the United States. Our ancestors, some agreed to assemble into it. Some just went involuntarily. And it is what it is. I am a United States citizen. I love my country, and I don't have a problem with United States. I have a problem with politicians, though. Okay, I don't. I think the system will work, and it has been. That's why it's still in existence. But there's things that need to be fixed. You know, with the 50 states and the mass incarceration of the Indians. Um, they need to own up to their punishments, okay? Because the purpose of the United States, they work for us. And I don't care what level, whether we're talking at the federal level, state level, or municipality level, you are supposed to protect us citizens. You are supposed to protect us taxpaying citizens, okay? When an enforcement such as mass deportation is recommended, highly recommended by the people, and also our leader, our president Trump, I hope that they comply. I'm hearing allegations that they're not, but if they're not complying, then you are in violation of the United States Constitution at the federal level. You are in violation. You're supposed to protect us. These people that are over here, you know nothing about their backgrounds other than the lying stories, if you even interview them, other than the lying stories that they probably tell you. Okay. And the safety, when they begin coming over here, the deaths of fentanyl went up sky high like crazy. It's just like crazy. So you don't care about the United States citizens, and you don't care about the United States citizens when you use the United States citizens tax dollars to care for illegal aliens, immigrants. You call them what you want to call them. They're illegal. It's against the law. You are harboring illegal immigrants. And on that note, since you're so good at putting my people in jail, you should be incarcerated too if you're violating the supreme law of the land, which is to protect us. You are not protecting us. You're not looking out for our best interests. You are not putting the United States citizens first, because you're taking our money, telling us to kick rocks as United States citizen, and don't give a damn tutti frutti what zip code we're talking about. A United States citizen is United States citizen. This ain't got nothing to do with color. This got something to do with United States legal citizens. You are taking our money. That's theft. You're taking our money out of the funds and spending them on illegal immigrants by harboring them. Harboring, you're providing food, shelter. Okay? I don't even care if you're using the money to build tents to put them in until you get them out. But you're taking our money and you're wrongly giving it to them. So my personal opinion is those municipal mayors, governors, senators, or I don't care whoever's harboring them, they should go to jail. You've put people in prison for harboring fugitives. You've done that. United States have a history of putting people in prison for harboring fugitives. So any mayor or governor should be in prison for harboring fugitives, because once they come over here illegally, they are indeed fugitives. Being here illegally, period, you are a fugitive. You're supposed to legally be here. And when your cards expire, you are back to being illegally being here. You're in here on an expiration basis. They pull citizens over for driver's license that are suspended or expired, and they get tickets. What are you doing to the illegal immigrants? You're not even applying. Well, as you don't have jurisdiction over them, so that means you need to get them out. Nobody that you don't have jurisdiction over should be out of here, except for, of course, the Indians, because it's their land. You can only remove them from the United States as citizens, but they'll be stateless, and that's completely fine to some Indians. A lot of Indians want to be sovereign. I myself am a Indian, but I am a United States citizen and I have all my records. Okay, that's my personal opinion. And I stand for we the people, the American citizens, the United States citizens. I stand for. I don't give a damn what zip code they're in. Rich, poor, middle class, we're citizens. We pay taxes so that the system can run. Money makes the world go around. Okay, in our instance, it makes our state go around. So there's all kinds of freezes in our money because you keep funding illegal immigrants. I'm tired of it. Get off our money before we rally the people and bring actions against you and demand that certain governors and mayors are arrested, because we can do that as people saying they're not compliant. We can do that. We can rally and tell them to arrest governors and mayors if the people are tired. And we could demand it and rally. That's true. You do what you want to the citizens when they violate the law. So why are you so sensitive to the illegal immigrants? But that's enough of that. That's not what we're on today. So I stand behind Trump. Here's where we are today. How's everybody doing? Before confirming, knowing and understanding who you are, I believe in this instance, since history lied to us, you must understand first who other people are. You need to know who other people are so that you can stand on and confirm who you are. And that's a fact. Knowing who other people are tells you exactly who you are. And that's a fact. There's mores in the chat. You can use your wrenches to get them out. These little people with the L names on the end of their names, such as this, get them out. We know that you're not, you being a Moor, you are not an Indian. You are an African. So please use the wrenches to get them out. Time them out. Because I'm only dealing with United States citizens, not Moors from Africa. Please leave the premises. Matter of fact, leave the land. Matter of fact, people with L at the end of their name should be deported to, I really think they should be deported back to Africa. That'll help too. Ex Amaru Khan. Hello. How are you? Halito. So let's get it, y'all. Let's look into understanding who other people are, because in our history here, it's very easy to figure out who we are as a people based on everything. And I tell you, when we read this today, you know, the more you study research, the more the truth is revealed to you, as well as the lies. There's so many lies. And I just, for the life of me, am so upset with my ancestors for hiding our history. But first, let's look at a video so you'll know about those Indians over here in the north that look like me. Okay, straight like me. My favorite Indians over here in the north. Let's look at them, y'all. Fair use. Where are you?
The Eastern Pequot Archaeology and Heritage Project was founded in 2003 as a collaboration between the Eastern Pequot Tribal Nation and the Department of Anthropology at the University of Massachusetts, Boston. led by Professor Stephen Silliman.
Fair use.
The project has pursued several goals: assisting the Eastern Pequot with historic and cultural preservation, integrating archaeological and heritage work into community planning and land management, training and paying Eastern Pequot as archaeologists, educating students in archaeological fieldwork and Eastern Pequot history and culture, making archaeology more responsible and responsive in its research practice and results, and demonstrating unequivocally that the Eastern Pequot persists today, built upon a rich history of struggle, adjustment, continuity, and survivance. These are some of the community stories about that history and what archaeology has meant to them.
Well, my mom was like, hey, get out of bed. You're going to go dig on the reservation. And like most teenagers, I wasn't too excited about it. And the first 2 days out here were really rough because I didn't really want to be here. But the more that I was here, the more I wanted to keep coming out here. The more I wanted to keep finding stuff.
This connection, I think, this bond, first of all, it's hard for tribal people to have trust. This kind of trust.
Some fire for these Pequots. Thank you.
Picking up feelings and emotions.
Fire for the Pequots.
Arrangements with Consul to have Dr. Silliman come in and speak to Consul about the program. And then I worked really hard on behalf of Consul to help develop the tribal protocol for this program because there was a lot of hesitancy because this had never been done before. The historical record is, not good with anthropologists, archaeologists going into Native American lands, taking things and not returning them.
Initially, I was not one that was very favorable to archaeologists coming out and digging on our land. But since meeting Dr. Steve over the last 10 years, I've changed my attitude. Dr. Steve does a very good job making sure that he collaborates well with the tribe and with the things that he finds. So he's not just interested in the subject of matter, he's also interested in people that the stuff belongs to. So I really appreciate having a chance to see that there are archaeologists that are out there that are learning to be more sensitive to the people and the things that belong to them.
I am Norma Parrish, and one of the elders of the Eastern Pequot Tribal Nation. I'm 94 years old, and I've been coming here when we first started to explore the reservation to find the artifacts that were left here. The basements, the chimneys, pots, and my goodness, who'd have thought a house was out here that Mother Earth covered up? However, we're digging it up and finding it again, and it's great to have it. I'm so grateful for the help that we're getting from the students in the schools. We'll never forget them.
We've been working very closely with UMass, and we're really happy to continue the program and appreciate all that Dr. Silliman has been able to do with bringing the students on. But more importantly is that now we have a collection, and I know it's thousands of pieces, and Steve can probably tell you the number, but I think what's more important is that we have a material archaeological collection that we didn't have before that dates back to thousands of years, because we have stone tools that were found. And then we have some of the colonial trade materials that have been found. And we have a very extensive collection, and we're looking forward to taking the educational piece to our community a little bit closer now, since this year we transferred all the artifacts to the Mashantucket Pequot Museum. So we don't have the logistics of having to travel up to UMass Boston to see the larger collection. Although we've had on a regular basis some small exhibits available at our powwow, and we've had discussions at, community meetings.
So in the future, I would like to maybe do something on the cultural preservation side of this. I graduated college already. I was an English major, so it's kind of left field with that. But I would like to kind of see this program grow a little bit more, get more tribal kids out here, maybe have a summer camp where the kids can come out and look at the artifacts, and just, I want them to feel the same way that I felt at a time where we were so devastated and it felt like nothing was going. This kept me going. This gave me hope, and I want them to feel the same thing.
For me, it's helped me become more aware of the importance of staying present now and connecting with family now and getting us closer. Because there's been a lot of gaps for us in terms of just different things that are going on, different things that happen, and us dealing with those sort of traumatic events and still being able to stay tight-knit. Every family has its problems, every relationship has its dynamics, but connecting to the land, connecting to the past has definitely helped heal me in a lot of ways. Sort of giving them that positive affirmation that we are here, we have been here, and we still are here, and we have a future as well.
So this is a 2009 site. It dates back to 1840s, what they believe to be a house. There's a collapsed chimney behind me. For me, the significance of the 2009 site is this is where my cousin Cheyenne, Sebastian, she found the padlock with the key still inside of it. For me, that was big. Still together, it showed me that we could be just as strong and we could do the same thing.
When I was 13 years old, I did a little bit of screening, and it really was amazing. But then when I got to come out here for fully 2 weeks, it was a great experience. A person that inspired me was actually Nikki. She told me a lot about the field school, how much time she's been in the field school and actually having fun, and what it meant to her. And me personally, I think that that's a great experience for me, and for me to go out there in the woods and find the things that I found.
Hi, I'm Latasha Maddox, Eastern Pequot tribal member, former tribal counselor, and I'm here to talk about the archaeology within UMass Boston. So my son Justin is also part of the internship that we have here within the tribe with UMass Boston. It's an awesome collaboration that we have with them because he gets to learn about different things that they find within the grounds here on our reservation, and truly blessed and honored to have him a part of my family and to share him with you guys as well as the tribe and the community. So thank you.
I really enjoy the archaeology team that Steve always puts together, and I really enjoy his presence. But I actually learned something while I'm here. Exploring the res, hiking the res, loving the land. I never really got a chance to dig. And I think once that happened to me in 2015, I found a new investment in unearthing the objects that tie in our history.
And it's really brought forth, who we are as Native people. And this is our land, and this is why we're finding things that prove that our ancestors were here. And the UMass students have really done a wonderful job helping and assisting and teaching our students of tribal members that have participated over many years and now are doing archaeology. So this program has really been a blessing.
My name is Cheyenne Sebastian, and I'm a member of the Eastern Pequot Tribal Nation. I was a part of the field school as an intern in 2007 and 2008. I loved that the field school came to the reservation over all of these years because it allowed us the opportunity to find artifacts and actual proof that the history we've been told is accurate and learn more things about our history over the years. I loved being able to just pull an artifact out of the unit and think back that the last time someone had touched this was probably one of my ancestors.
My name's Erica. I am a Native American intern at the Eastern Pequot Tribal Nation. It feels great to be an intern here because I feel I've learned more about my culture, learned more about tradition, and it feels great to just dig up some artifacts from my tribe and then just like study them. And this is like my first time experiencing with archaeology. My major is criminal justice, and I feel this will really help me in the future.
To me, it's almost like this is who we are. And it took us back to a different place about what life was like on the reservation, if we had stone houses, if we had weetus, how we were living and using the land. So I think with the people, I mean, this is us, this is our history. And I feel that the archaeology project has been very valuable for the young people as well as the older people, just seeing a part and being connected to our past.
Another big thing for me, Bobby Sebastian, who isn't here with us anymore, he helped me a lot with this project in archaeology. He's the one that taught me about my land. He taught me to never be afraid on my land. He taught me that this was important and I had to keep it going, even if he wasn't going to be here for us to keep it going.
Nikki is here taking over Bobby's spotlight. And she said, "Do you think I could do it?" I said, "Yes." I said, because you both had a love for each other. Nikki is our niece more than our cousin. And this is what we're working for. And this is why I thank you.
And Ralph is another tribal member that passed away. He's another large reason that I'm out here, to kind of keep his memory and his legacy alive, because he did so much with the archaeology program here and over at Mashantucket. So it's important for me to kind of keep those guys' memories here. And I feel them when I'm out here. So it makes me feel really good that I have some kind of like semblance of them while I'm here. Whether it's something as small as like when I'm digging down and I can't find anything at all, and then all of a sudden a ceramic pops up. I'm like, okay, that's Ralph. Or a charcoal, like a little piece of charcoal pops up. I'm like, okay, that's Bobby. And I smile to myself and I can keep going.
I was born on the reservation in 1990 and was the first child born here in over 100 years. At the time, my parents didn't have running water or electricity. And it wasn't until the archaeological field school started that I realized the history right in my backyard. And how every time we may dig up some dirt to do some adventure, we could have been digging up artifacts. And it's just so great to get to learn more about the tribe's story every year that they come back.
Every hole that's dug, we put the dirt back in, and then afterwards we offer tobacco to Mother Earth for allowing us to take the artifacts and take the dirt out of. We try to make it look as good as it did from the beginning. We usually do the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west, as a way to give thanks.
About the archaeology project, I feel like it keeps my tribe going at a point where the United States and the government try to tell us we don't exist. Every day that we're out there with the students, me included, the things that we find prove them wrong. So I feel like it keeps my nation alive. And it gives the young people, at least, it gives us hope, and also allows us to kind of reconnect to our ancestors, to know that I'm out there walking on the same land that my ancestors walked on, or picking up some of the same tools that they used. Is a very strong feeling, especially at a time when they're trying to destroy us. It proves that we've been here, and it just kind of regrounds us to this earth. Important thing about the archaeology program is the collaboration that we have with the students, because a lot of times before the students come out here, they have a preconceived notion, or they think they might know what the Pequots are, or when they're out here with us and they meet me and they meet the other interns, it's like it puts a face to the people. So it grounds our people, and it makes us human. It makes you understand that we're out here and we'll continue to fight.
These many years, I certainly appreciate your interest in us and keeping us going, because it has been a wonderful relationship, and I can't thank you enough for being with us and helping us through these hard times. But you didn't give up on us.
Thank you to to the UMass Anthropology Department and then all of the departments that have supported this effort, because I know it takes a certain amount of funding to house the students, to provide food for the students, to provide the salaries for our tribal interns, and all the other items that are involved in, you know, having a budget for 5 weeks to make this program successful. And I know there's been other departments at UMass that have supported the program, and we're really grateful for that.
I want to thank UMass Boston and their archaeology program, Dr. Silliman, all the students that have been invested the past 16 years, because collectively we're finding more stuff, different stuff, and it's piecing together a lot. I also want to thank the tribe, the nation, for allowing us to continue with this project. I think it'll be very informative, educational for us, and really important for us establishing our continuing existence.
I think it's a wonderful thing. They have been coming here for years to help us. I know they get a grant, but that doesn't mean anything. All their meaning comes from the heart and has given us strength and courage to go forward and do the things that the elders need to do.
We are, you know, only here for a little while. We know that in the grand scheme of things. So if we can, you know, both honor the living, the dead, our ancestors, and, you know, all those that have kind of walked this land before we did, including the animals and things that crawl and, you know, the birds and all of that, they're all part of what we as Native people in our theology celebrate.
Okay, so I thought that was really great to share with everyone. They do have federal recognition. That was an older video, and they do have federal recognition. Actually, they're actually the Foxwoods. Okay, those are Foxwood. So I shared that for educational and entertainment purposes only, because if it's where we as a people are in this situation, and we don't have to be, that they were actually in the Pequots were actually dissolved, written out of history, and supposedly never demolished, and they came back and stood on who they were. So I say this and show that video so you could get the visual on things that we can do as Indians. We can go to our ancestors' original homes from where they were burned out, pushed out. A lot of the areas in the southern states, as I may say, in the southern states, a lot of it is wooded area, and you can work with the municipality as to the location where our ancestors were ran off their land, and get the permission for the excavation so you can find some artifacts, because United States is indeed and you know, they do admit what was done to the Indians in the South. And for us to be able, I don't think that there would be a big issue if we did the same thing that the Pequots are doing. Those are civil things. I'm sure you need to get permission from municipalities. You might have old land where your ancestors lived, and you might dig up something and find something that belonged to them. I don't care if it was a spoon or a bowl or a piece of something. Anything you find when you excavate is just monumental, becomes monumental. And these are civil things to do because it could not only connect you with who you are, it's part of everything you find when you excavate. That's if you're into archaeological work. It connects you more from the ancestor that you have been deprived of. Okay, they didn't see their future generations, and that's us. And digging up some artifacts and finding things, because a lot of towns in the South were either flooded out, and dams. A lot of towns in the South, especially South Carolina, I'm sure we'll be able to find so much in South Carolina. You get the right permission, and let them know what you're doing. You got to have the professional conversations. So I'm looking forward to doing excavation on our land in South Carolina. That'll be a really great project for myself and my tribal members. And we pick things up and it really connects us because a lot of our families did come from out of the South and were nearly pushed out, where some of us came here north, some of us went in other directions. We went in many directions. But anyway, let's get into some interesting stuff. Hi, Jeremiah. Hi, Warris. Let's get into some interesting things. Hey, bruh Sanchez. What's good, doodle butt? Hey, now. Hey. I'm sure you probably just saw the Pequot video, bruh. What's up, nephew? So I'm going to share some slides because when I tell you, and you're going to see this today, when I tell you before confirming, knowing, and understanding who you are, you must first know who other people are, because knowing who other people are going to put you exactly where you need to be. And that's a fact. And exactly gives you even more guts to standing on who you are. And you can get rid of all those other silly names that a lot of our people have been divided into walking around. Okay, before anybody came here, there were no Christians here. I'm just putting that out there. Understand this when I tell you. Before anybody came here and invaded this land, there was no such thing as a Christian on Indian land in America. Let's just put that out. And I'm just going to put it out there even more. When I say America at this point, I mean North, Central, and South. There was no such thing as a Christian. Facts. So now, I'm going to get the slides up. Let's get it, y'all. I'm not going to go no further. So, before confirming, knowing, and understanding who you are, you must first know who other people are. Let's get it, y'all. King James I of England. Very interesting, and I'm going to use the real terminology. Very interesting black man. In 1606, King James I of England granted charters to both the Plymouth Company and the London Company for the purpose of establishing permanent settlements in America. The London Company established the colony of Virginia in 1607, the first permanently settled English colony on the continent. Boom, boom, boing. Come on, y'all. Let's get it. And the biggest question I have reading all this, and you good luck looking this up. Who was King James I doing business with to get the land in order to run the damn charters in America? Who was he doing business with? Who was he doing business with over here? Hey, look, hold up one second. Hey, listen. No, he wasn't doing business with the Pope to buy the land from over here. He had to be doing business with somebody that's already here in America on the lands. We talking in the 1600s. Yo, the Pequots was here. All the tribes was here. Who was he doing the business with? And do you know, when you go look, and good luck, it doesn't say, oh, he bought it from here. King James was working with this dude or that dude. All right, we in the 1600s. It don't say who he was working with to get. It don't say. What Indian was he working with to get the land in Virginia? Yeah, I mean, you come on somebody's land. It got to be that somebody say, okay, well, you can have that spot right there. Now, Pequots is in the north, but who was down south in Virginia? We ain't even talking about up here north where I am. Who was he working with? Who did this black guy, King James, say, yo, okay, I want to start a little settlement. You're not just going to pull up on southern land in the south and just chill. Let's chill. Don't work like that. You was work with somebody and say, all right, you can have this part, you can have that part. I know my ancestors, they still act like that today. Hell no, he wasn't working with no damn Portuguese. Not getting no land in Virginia. No, we didn't. You was dealing with a Virginia chief. How about it was Pocahontas' daddy, maybe? Chief Powhatan. If you in Virginia, in the Powhatan area, okay? Ain't got nothing to do with no Portuguese. Nothing. Portuguese have nothing to do with buying land, getting an area in Virginia to set up a colony. Nah. They worked, and he worked. King James literally worked with Pocahontas' daddy. Had to be, because that's his territory, Powhatan. All right, let's get it, y'all. Do you know that they will not tell you that? This is Virginia's House of Burgess. The Virginia House of Burgess was established on July 30th, 1619. Damn, that's wild, because they established the Burgess House in 1619. But they also had a 1619 project that consists of only 20 Negras, 20 black Africans. Get your laugh on. Literally, in 1619, there was a 1619 project, and Virginia House of Burgess was established. Keep in mind, goofies, there was no existence of a United States. It was a Virginia colony. There was no United States. But we're going to bring over 20 old Africans with us. It ain't something. It ain't say nothing about the Bering Strait. Hello? Are y'all seeing something now? Now that you see it visually? Seriously. No talks about the Bering Strait. Why is that? How come there's no, you got the 1619 project. How come they're not talking about the Bering Strait, y'all? Let's get it. Get your laugh on. We seen this sign, and guess what? They put this up in 2015. This is why I said we have to do our own history. Now they got a big sign up. The first Africans in Virginia. Get your laugh on. The first documented Africans in Virginia arrived here in August 1619 on a white lion, an English privateer based in the Netherlands. Colonial officials traded food for these 20 and odd Africans. But wait a minute. Y'all seen the sign? They ain't said when it said 20 and odd negras. Okay. Nothing to do. I can't do it. Who had been captured from a Portuguese slave ship. Among present-day Hampton's earliest African residents are Anthony and Isabella. Okay, those are not African names. Their son William was the first child of African ancestry, known to have been born in Virginia in 1624. Many of the early Africans were held as slaves, but some individuals became free. A legal framework for hereditary, lifelong slavery in Virginia evolved during the 1600s. The United States abolished slavery in 1865 when it came in existence. But wait a minute. 20 Africans. That was the only colony in the United States, y'all, in 1620. Well, I mean, on this land. You just read it. But now we're talking southern states. Out of all the southern states, Virginia is included in that. That was the colony in the 1600s. Then, now, don't forget about Plymouth, where the Pequots were. We'll get there, though. But you can see the fallacies in history. So, if the Pequots look like they do, if the Pequots look like that, well, if the Pequots in the north look like the way they look, how do you think the Indians look in Virginia? I'm talking about, the ones that King James did business with, to get the damn charter, to establish the Virginia colony. What do you think they look like? If they look like that down south in America, what do you think they look like in Massachusetts? Plymouth Bay. But y'all got it. Let's just keep going, y'all. It gets interesting. Because now we're going to talk about them pilgrims. The pilgrims arrived November 11th, 1620. Well, a year after the Virginia colony was established. This is funny, y'all. The Pilgrims arrived in North America on November 11th, 1620, after a 66-day voyage on the Mayflower. The ship was the Mayflower, was a 3-mast, 3-deck carrack with a crew of about 30 and 102 passengers. They had a crew of 30 and 102 passengers. The voyage was stormy, and the passengers suffered from sickness and scurvy. Landing, the Pilgrims landed at Cape Cod, Massachusetts, after being forced, of course, by poor winds and dangerous shoals. Destination, The Pilgrims had originally intended to settle near the Houston River in New York, but decided to stay in New England. Settlement. The Pilgrims established Plymouth Colony and built Congregationalist churches. Like I said, there was no such thing as Christianity until they came. The Pilgrims were Puritan separatists who wanted to practice their religion freely, separate from the English state church. They had lived in exile in Holland for several years before deciding to establish a new settlement in the New World. So now, what's interesting is because these pilgrims here in the North, and then you start to think about, what damn, here you just saw the Pequots. War. I got to take that E off. The Pequot was effectively, now listen, the Pequots were effectively removed from their land following the Pequot War in 1637 when, after a series of massacres, the surviving Pequots were dispersed and forced to live with the Mohegan and Narragansett tribes by the Treaty of Hartford in 1638, essentially eliminating their ability to live as a distinct tribe in their traditional territory. This event is often referred to as the Mystic Massacre because they're from Mystic, Connecticut. Due to the key battle site at Mystic, Connecticut, the conflict arose from growing tensions between English colonists and the Pequot tribe over land and trade. Considered a pivotal moment in the war, a large number of Pequot people were killed in a surprise attack on their village at Mystic, Connecticut. This treaty officially ended the war and stipulated the remaining Pequot would be divided among the Mohegan and Narragansett tribes, effectively dissolving, listen to y'all, effectively dissolving their identity as a separate people. You better believe all the rest you Indians, when you were automatically became citizens, when you stayed in 1830 and did not want to go to Oklahoma, you better believe that your identity was effectively dissolved. Can you give me a 1 if you understand that? Because these are the same people who did it. They effectively dissolved the Pequot's identity. And you better believe when you stayed and did not go to Oklahoma, your identity was effectively dissolved by these same people. And I'm not playing with you. Oh, I'm not playing today. I need to know if you understand me. I have more ones. There are 765 people in here watching. If you don't, you're just a lost cookie. Following the Pequot War, some surviving Pequot people were indeed removed to the islands, specifically, listen y'all, to Long Island, where they were placed under the control of the Metoic tribe, who were themselves subject to the Narragansett tribe. However, many captured Pequots were also sold into slavery in the West Indies, specifically places like Bermuda, Providence Island, now part of the Bahamas, and the Isle of Nevis. Others were distributed as captives among the allied tribes who fought against them, being the Pequots. The Bahamas was a British colony for 325 years before gaining independence on July 10th, 1973. The Bahamas became a British colony in 1718 after the British cracked down on piracy. In 1670, Charles II of England granted the Bahamas to the 8 lords proprietors of the Carolinas. Nevis is an island in the Caribbean Sea, part of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, a country of 2 islands in the West Indies. So now you need to know the difference between British islands and those islands that are part of the United States. The United States islands, aka our territories, American Samoa, that's located in the Pacific Ocean. Guam is located in the Pacific Ocean. The Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands, it's located in the Pacific Ocean. Puerto Rico, located in the Caribbean Sea. The U.S. Virgin Islands, located in the Caribbean Sea. None of them have to have passports or anything. They are part of the United States. When you're seeing U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Commonwealth, they're United States citizens too. Facts. All they got to show is their ID or birth certificate. These territories are rich in ecological and cultural resources and are under the jurisdiction of the Department of Interior. It's easy for them to stand on their race identity. They're Indians. The U.S. Geological Survey, which is USGS, conducts science research in these territories to help policymakers and environmental managers address threats to the islands. Now, let's get it, Mucha Wucha. Oh, I told you I'm not. I say this because we're not going to keep doing the African thing. Because here, like we already did, if the Pequots look like that, beautiful, copper colored, diverse people, who do you think these people are in Connecticut in 1750? There was no African slaves that became governors. Stop the madness. We're going to get Ben Franklin in a minute to stand on it. I'm not even going to read this. These were not considered black people because, number one, there were no census sheets in 1750, 1755 to call them black. Now, we already know about the role of the governor, the black one. They needed an African. Let's get our laugh on. To act, who is a governor, to act as a mediator between the black and white communities, even though the Pequots look like the way they do. Mind you, the Pequots are very close to Hartford. So we got Pequots who are they look exactly like me. Okay. But in Hartford, we're gonna have Africans run that Indian territory and be a governor and be a mediator. The African slave is going to be a mediator between the black and white communities. Give me a 1. Give me a fire if that makes no sense at all. Please give me fire. You know damn well that's an Indian. It makes no sense. This is why we have to professionally stand up and correct our history, dig up our artifacts, do it ourselves instead of letting foreigners do this. The Indians in the North look a lot alike, and they all act a lot alike. Because this African needed to be a mediator between the black and white communities. In 1755, when there's no census sheet to call these people black. Because the slave that was black, Colonial John Chester, of London, Connecticut in 1760, all right. Oh, he married an Indian lady. Oh, now we got to mention the Indian. This African dude married an Indian. You know what? I'm done. We must fix our history. We got to get like the Pequots. We got to get in there and dig and start correcting our history, because it's not the white man's job to correct and write our history. It's our job, and it always have been our job. This writing right here is our fault until we correct it. They're only writing it and trying to help because that's how you're identifying on census sheets, even though it's not on your birth certificate. All right. And on your birth certificate, it's even worse because they got you as colored and Negro. You got to fix it. It's not the white man's job to correct our history. It's your job to correct your own history. So fix it. There isn't much information about how many Native Americans lived in Hartford. Well, no Native Americans lived in Hartford. They were actual Indians with real names. The Saukiyaks lived in Hartford. They spoke nothing about the Saukiyaks with an African man. Wait a minute. Let's get it. An African man who's a slave riding around in Hartford on a horse with his vice president. And where are the Saukiyaks? because that's who was in Hartford. The Saukiyuk Indians. Loaded with them. And they're still there today. They're just running around. I gave them the nickname Pookie and Ray Ray and Little Man. So this African man's running around in Hartford, a major and the biggest city in Connecticut, on a horse where there's loads of Saukiyuk Indians. But they need this African to be a mediator between the white and black community. We done went there. Y'all, we can't keep doing it. Let's get it. The Indian tribes in Hartford, the Saukiyuks lived in Hartford, while the Podnucks, the Pequonics, the Massacos, the Tunkses, the Wangunks lived in nearby areas like right around the corner. Yo block, you live there in the Pequonics. Yo block, you live in the Podnuck. Yo block, nothing's changed. Right? This is the inner city. Right here in New England. Hartford is in New England. It's the state's capital. When the first English settlers arrived in New England in the 1600s, there were about 60,000 Native Americans in the area. That's just in a city. Hartford. I'm not even going to do this. And that same time, Ben Franklin was around. He ain't mentioned no Indians, okay? And he ain't mentioned no Negroes in his whole transcript. This is why now your history makes sense, so you got to fix it. This is Ben Franklin's transcript. You know this already. Everybody was tawny, which is dark, black. Africa tawny, Asia tawny. All I'm seeing is black people. America, holy soul, was tawny. Ben ain't mentioned nothing. America, I could just stop there because all those other areas don't mean nothing to me because they're not my lands. I'm not from Asia. I'm not, I mean, even though it's tawny people, Africa, Asia, Italy, the French, the Russians, the Swedens, and the Germans. Those are not my areas. My only concern is America, what is wholly so tawny. So, Ben sitting here writing this in 1751. Who was the tawny people Ben was talking about in 1751? Because the Pequots was already gone. Okay, they dispersed them out. Beautiful Pequots, but they back. Who was the tawny people? Because all I'm trying to say is King James I to set up. You think King James just gonna walk up in America and set up a colony and not deal with no tawny people? I just can't, y'all. Think about that in your head for a minute, please. Please, please, please. Think about Ben Franklin said it was none but tawny people over here. So who did King James work with to get the charters up and popping. I'm just gonna play a little something so you can think about it now.
I hope I'm never sitting courtside. Shit happened so quick it felt like there was no time. Body was programmed just so it's me on go time. I thank the clouds that I'm free. This ain't shit that all the homies can be. Running from the lights, let me get up. Thinking about the bullshit, leading right up. Mama told me one day you run out of luck. Now I'm looking up, quick tail catching up. Born into that trench mine, niggas had no strain mind. Only thing we know is.
Am I tawny? Am I tawny? A tawny complexion with dimples. I don't need to read this because now, at least in 1751, we know who King James was dealing with. Tawny people. Holy soul. To get them charters. The guy riding around on a horse. Yeah. (1755). These are all the black governors. That had to be the mediators between the white communities and the black communities. I guarantee you they were not called black communities. I guarantee you that they were not called black communities. Now, there was tawny people. These tawny people, London, Qua, Cuff, John Anderson, Peleg, Peter Freeman, Caesar, Boston, Quash, Wilson, who took on these surnames, of course, had to be mediators between the black and white communities. I guarantee you they wasn't called no black communities. So, here's my question. What communities were, if they weren't called black communities, because I know they weren't, they were not called, they were called what they originally were. You can't make it up. They look just like the Pequots. All of them. The people that were chartered these areas in Connecticut, the white guy said, look, you be the mediator between the black people and white people. Because I know they were like, I'm not dealing with them. You be the mediator between them. I'm not dealing. Because that's the only person them Indians is going to deal with is a chief to keep the people calm, fighting over the land with these incoming colonizers, folks. Do you really think the Indians is going to be sitting back listening to somebody that ain't them about their land? It got to be a chief. Can't be nobody but a chief. That's what a governor is. And Cuff, yo, served as a governor in Hartford, where the Sarcogs are, the guy riding around the horse, before the American Revolutionary War. He was in that same spot for 10 years. Sound like a chief to me. 10 years? That's an Indian baby. You better believe it. So now we're up in 1830. These same people, all these tawny people. Okay, we're in 1830. And you're telling Indians to go to Oklahoma. Ben Franklin said America was wholly so tawny. Who did Andrew Jackson tell those wishing to remain, and Indians wishing to remain? Now, because now in 1830, they're Indians. They're calling them Indians. He's Andrew Jackson talking to all these holy soul tawny people. Now they're Indians. Go to Oklahoma. And y'all Indians that want to stay, because now he had backup. He had allies. He had an army, he had Indians, allied Indians that got down with him to build these here 50 states. And he got the backup by the other Indians, ready to fight him in the war like we do now, if you act stupid. All right, y'all Indians that want to stay, y'all Indians that want to stay, holy soul. You want to remain here in the East? All of y'all holy soul Indians wishing to remain and not go to Oklahoma in the East, you're going to become citizens in your home state, wherever you at. I don't care where you at. Wherever you are, whatever state it is, you're going to be a citizen. There was no swearing in or naturalization. Wherever you are, that's where your home state. Shit changing. It's not hard. So all these same holy soul people. Okay, because now we got to give them an identity. We're not gonna call them the Sarcogs on a damn. We're not gonna do that in our state. We're not gonna do it. So if slavery was to be the dominant social political force, and racism the dominant popular ideology, what role was there for blacks? And would they want that role? Would they continue their struggle to be free and equal citizens of the United States? Because or are they going to forge a new identity in the larger Black Atlantic world? Identity and destiny. I don't need to go through this again. And David North wrote this article in 2020. It's called Introduction to New York Times, the 1619 Project and the Racialist Falsification of History. You might want to check that out. Letting them know that shit was false because only 20 articles. That was the 1619 Project. That's all it was 20. Because America was holy soul, Tony. That's all you know is some bull. Now, the only areas in the South that the colonizers had was Virginia, okay, Just Jamestown. That's it. The first permanent English settlement in North America was Jamestown, which was established in 1607. This is quite a few years before the 1619 project of those 20 darkies coming. The settlement was chosen for its defensibility, with water on three sides and deep enough for ships to tie up. Now, that was the only area in Virginia that the English had a settlement in. Question again. What holy so tawny did they do business with to get Jamestown? I'll wait. Who did they do business with to get Jamestown? What holy soul being did they do business with to get Jamestown? Because by this time, up here in the north, the Pequots was still on their land. So being it holy soul, who did he do business with? Maryland. In Maryland, they had Prince George's County, St. Mary's City, Susquehanna River, and west of Fort Cumberland. Those are the only areas of settlement that they had in Maryland. That's it. They did not have the entire Maryland. In Ben Franklin's transcript, he don't talk about no Moors at all. But these are the areas in Maryland that the colonists had settlements, just those 4 areas. That's not the entire Maryland. Again, who did they do business with? Now, I know they was talking back and forth with Chief Conestoga of the Aircrafts. Because they were wholly so. In North Carolina, the areas that were given to the colonists to set up little colonies was Albemarle region, Clarendon, Granville, and Piedmont. That's it. Those are the only settlement areas for the colonists. All the rest of the land was for the Holy So Indians. And in South Carolina, which is big, all they had was Charleston. Rest of the land, Holy So Indians. All they had was Charleston in South Carolina. That's it. They didn't have Columbia, all them different parts. They didn't have all these other different parts. They didn't have Florence. They only had Charlestown. And at the time when they had it, it was Charlestown. King Charles's town. And later they changed the name to Charleston. That's all they had. All the other areas of the land, Holy Soul, Tawny. So all the other areas of that land in South Carolina, you should be able to dig up some artifacts so you could hold that sentimental stuff of your ancestors. Georgia. They did not have the entire Georgia. Now we know that the Cherokee was big in Georgia and Creek, but the only areas, colonial areas, was the original land grant. The province of Georgia included a narrow strip of land that stretched west to the Pacific Ocean, the area between Savannah and Altamaha rivers. James Oglethorpe in 1732 established the colony of Georgia, not the entire Georgia. The area between Savannah and Altamaha. The Atlantic coast. The peace treaty signed in 1739 guaranteed that a large section of land along the Atlantic coast belonged to the colonists. However, the Indians still had exclusive hunting rights in some of the area, being Holy So Indians. They made that very clear. Georgia's still full of Indians. They had that little area, that little section along the area coast. However, the Indians still had exclusive hunting rights. And they had a little area protected by the colonists. The colonists were expected to protect South Carolina and produce goods like wine and silk for England. The trustees limited land ownership to prevent the development of a rich upper class. Each male adult who came on charity received a town lot for a house plus 50 acres of land. Colonists who paid their own way got 50 acres plus 50 acres for each servant they brought up to 500 acres. So now we know who the Indians is, the Holy Soul people, and explains why Ben Franklin said, oh, no, do not increase them. Do not bring more white people up here. Can we bring people that look like us from British? So who are the British? They are known as Britons, or Brits are citizens of the United Kingdom. The British overseas territories and the crown dependencies. They can also refer to people who live in the British Empire before 1973. Here we go. The Articles of Union in Britain. London. This is London. I'm not reading this. You can look it up and read it yourself. British people can be English, Scottish, Welsh, or Irish from Northern Ireland. So now we know who the British are. Who the British people are. British people. They're the English, the Scottish, the Welsh, and the Irish from Northern Ireland. However, the term British is often used to refer to anyone who lives in Great Britain, which includes England, Scotland, and Wales. Okay? British people are known for their politeness, sense of humor, and self-discipline. However, Britain is a country with many cultures, and not all British people are white or Christian. I didn't write this. You can look it up. However, Britain is a country with many cultures, and not all British people are white or Christian. London, for example, has the largest non-white population of any European city. All right, listen. Listen. So that tells you that listen closely. I need your undivided attention. The British population is a product of many waves of invaders, including the Celts, Romans, Anglo-Saxons, Danes, Norse, and Normans. I'll read it again. I'm going to read it in again so you can clearly hear how they're telling you who the invaders are. The British population is a product of many waves of invaders, including the Celts. You mean to tell me they invaded this place? The Romans, the Anglo-Saxons, the Danes, Norse, and the Normans. Since the Norman invasion in 1066, more people have joined Britain from Scandinavia, France, Holland, Ireland, and more recently from the Caribbean, Africa, India, Pakistan, China. There's Northern Ireland. So now those same invaders, that's interesting because they're here. The same invaders. Interesting. United Kingdom island country located off the northwest coast of mainland Europe. The United Kingdom comprises the whole of the island of Great Britain, which contains England, Wales, and Scotland, as well as the northern portion of the island of Ireland. The name Britain is sometimes used to refer to the United Kingdom as a whole. The capital is London, which is among the world's leading commercial, financial, and cultural centers. Other major cities include Birmingham, Liverpool, Manchester in England, Belfast, Londonderry in Northern Ireland, Edinburgh and Glasgow, Scotland, and Swansea and Cardiff in Wales. There's the United Kingdom map. I'm just shooting through. The origins of the United Kingdom can be traced to the time of the Anglo-Saxon king Athelstan, who is the early 10th century, secured the allegiance of the neighboring Celtic kingdoms and became the first to rule what previously many kings shared between them. In the words of a contemporary chronicle. Do you notice that there's no mentioning of Russia or Germany? But they were all tawny. Those subsequent conquests over the following centuries, kingdoms lying farther afield came under English dominion. Wales, a congeries of Celtic kingdoms lying in Great Britain's southwest, was formerly united with England by the Acts of Union in 1536 and 1542. Scotland, ruled from London since 1603, formerly was joined with England and Wales in 1707 to form the United Kingdom of Britain. The adjective British came into use at this time to refer to all the kingdom's people. Ireland came under English control during the 1600s and was formally united with Great Britain through the Act of Union of 1800. Woohoo! Now, all this going on, I have ancestors on an 1800 census sheet that were here before these people came here. Yo, holy soul, throw up fire, babies. Holy soul. History speaks. History speaks. The Republic of Ireland gained its independence in 1922. We were already here even back then, man. This is why we have to, it's up to us to fix our own history. We got to do it. All right. I think I'm going to stop here because it's only 40 more slides. I'm really done. I'm so done. I'm not going to read all this. But this really talks about all the areas in the United Kingdom. So I don't even have to read this. My real point was already made. So I'm going to stop there. So you understand who Britain was doing business with. The Holy Soul people. So I need to know, and I'm going to put the link in the chat now because the panel is open. Now you see even more, you can see much better now. And it's okay to talk about our history. We got to fix it. We got to correct it. It's up to us. Otherwise, the people currently in, office are, if we don't care, then they don't care. You understand? And you can do it civilly. You don't do it with an attitude because your stinking butts let it sit there and just speak for itself from other people. You got to fix it. That's all. And you don't got to go up in there with no attitude. You left it blank. Fix it. That's it. You holy soul 20 people. I put the link in the chat. Smoke, you can bring your butt up and y'all could fix, we could fix this. We ain't gotta, man, this United States was built with the Holy Soul people. And I'm pretty much, I'm done, man. I mean, ain't nothing else I could do or say. You don't need to do all that other crazy stuff. For real. The link is there. The panel is, this is why I said, and it goes back to my overlay. When you know who other people are, you then begin knowing even more who you are. The link is in the chat. Now, do you understand why I say, oop, that's not what I want. This is the one I want. Apologies. Now you confirmed that you're the Holy Soul people. Knowing and understanding who you are, you Holy Soul people that Ben Franklin was talking about. And I showed you the Pequots. So if the Pequots is running around here, the beautiful Pequots, who you think the Indians was in the South? You must, when you're knowing who everybody else is, then you're like, oh, then that would be me. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's you. And it's been you the whole time. Yo, the panel is now open. All I could do is wait for y'all to come on up. Come on up. Come on up.
beats me weave.
Elevate my hustle, gotta get your stress. Cause you the kind of girl I wanna make to my wife. Ain't no point that anyone can make a know they ain't right. They can't tell me how I feel or walk a day in my life. For all the miles I kill, told you many times you really mine for real. Cause something about your eyes always shine for real. Stick it out with me as you gon' sign the deal. For all the miles I kill, told you many times you really mine for real. Cause something about your eyes really shine for real. Stick it out with me as you gon' sign.
Panel is open, y'all.
Little crazy light, baby, fiending on her lately. Heavy on my mental, so I'm in a booth for wavy. See me, I don't give a fuck, I'm open, I ain't shady. These niggas see us, so they hating. Sipping bottles again, dugging all of the feds. Putting loaves inside the cover, we ain't splitting no bread. Getting all these different fabrics off your neck and your head. Hope that karma ain't gon' get me for what's coming ahead. My baby said she wanna love song. 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 I'ma sing her this love song. Yeah, I'm singing to elevate my hustle, gotta get your stress. Cause you the kind of girl I wanna make to my wife. Ain't no point that anyone can make a know they ain't right. They can't tell me how I feel or walk a day in my life. For all the miles I kill, told you many times you really mine for real. Cause something about your eyes always shine for real. Stick it out with me as you gon' sign the deal. For all the miles I kill, told you many times you really mine for real. Cause something about your eyes really shine for real. Stick it out with me as you gon' sign the deal, yes. Something really shine for real. Something really shine for real. Something really shine for real. In your eyes it shine for real. For all the miles I kill, told you many times you really mine for real. Stick it out with me.
Listen, I am going to build a chart so you can see the business that the British did with us. Now, they did business with the Holy Soul people. Say like I'm from Britain. And I have I want to, get an area in the Americas, a little plantation, so I could grow some corn and berries, cherries, and fruit. Okay? I want to grow this in America on my plantation that I bought. Okay, brother, I see you. Say like I want to grow. I'm from Britain, right? Say I'm Queen Bethy from Britain, all right? And I want to grow some cherries, bananas on a plantation that I worked out with the Holy Soul people, the Indians in America. And I want them to be planted, and when they grow, I want them to be shipped to England. That's what the business was. You grow them, but you pay me some taxes, and ship them to me so we'll have them up in Britain. That's what it was all about. Foreigners being able to have an area in our country to establish a business. What type of business do you think Ukraine and Russia have here in the United States? They all got little plantation areas or businesses where they do it. We got the gas stations. That's what it was always all about. And it's still going on today. But back then, I'm talking about in the 1600s, it was literally because we didn't have a fiat. Make wine, they put their people here. Okay? Their British subjects here to grow things for them and ship it back. Because we had the great soil to do it. And the Indians said, okay, the Holy Soul people. That's what business was about. Some Indians just did it on plantations for them and shipped the money. But then all those subjects that they kicked out of England and said, all right, you're going to go live in America and run this business for me. They got tired of dealing with Brit and jumped up and just took all their shit from them. Their lands, all the 13 colonies. They went to war, Revolutionary War, and took it from Brit. Now it's ours. Now it's no longer colonies. Now we got together with our Indian allies and we became the 50 states because we all joined together. That's how that went down. All the Holy Soul people. What's up, Real Gotti?
How you doing, Sister Betty? I just
What's
wanted to
good?
say thanks for your work. Appreciate your
You're
work.
welcome.
You know, I
You're
just wanted to come
welcome.
up and tell you that. I don't come up on YouTube like that, but I felt like you know, I fixed everything with my phone. So I just wanted to let you know thank you for your work. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you.
Yeah, no
What state
problem.
are you in? What state are you in?
I'm in Jersey, yo. My family is from Virginia.
Oh, you right there. You right next to me. Boop, boop, boop. An
Yep.
hour away.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And your family is originally from Virginia.
That's right.
You know what? You're not even lying. You know why? Because you got them Indian freckles. You know, a lot of Virginia Indians got freckles. You do know that,
Mm-hmm.
right? Freckles and
Yeah.
moles. That's a hard
Mm-hmm.
trait from babies
Mm-hmm.
from Virginia.
Right.
Even if they dark skinned, they got the dark ones. You got
Right.
the moles like the Virginia Indians. A lot of them got moles and freckles.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Piedmont. Lower Piedmont.
Oh, okay. They
Lower
all got
Piedmont.
those freckles. All of them. They
Mm-hmm.
all got them freckles. That is a serious trait. They're real cute
Yeah.
too. But I
Thank you.
appreciate you. I hope
I
I'm
appreciate you
explaining
too.
things right. I appreciate it because sometimes I don't think I'm explaining things right, and I really want to make people see what I see.
Well, I think sometimes people have a hard time because they've been indoctrinated, and if they live up north, they might not understand where you're coming from. You know, because they disconnected from where their family is originally from. You know, it's the disconnection that makes it hard.
I think the North are now really heavily picking up. They are.
Yeah.
They are beginning to
Yeah.
understand. So it really makes me feel good when I speak to a
Yeah.
lot of people in Connecticut and the different states here in the North. They're like, they do know, but they don't
Yeah.
have the motivation.
I think it's
Now they're getting the motivation because they're tired of being. I know a lot of them here are really have an attitude like they're not African, but they can't tell you who they are. They have an attitude. They get an attitude. No, I'm not. I'm not that.
I think it's the school system, and like watching movies like what was
Wakanda and
that?
stuff like that. Roots.
Yeah, Roots, yeah, stuff like that. I think like having the that heavy movement where they was wearing all of those colors and stuff like that. For the ones that are like older and the ones who are younger, they're finding out faster. You know, I think it's just a whole lot of like trying to figure out why would they do this if that's not true. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? They trying to figure out like why would a place that we're told to go to school from do this to us, and then like we look at like music and things of that nature from a certain period, and they were doing this too. I think all of that is like psychologically messing with them, and they having a hard time trying to discern why would that happen if it's not true.
Right.
But thanks, Sister Betty.
Oh, you're welcome,
Good
sweetheart.
job.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
That
All
he
right.
raised the Real Gotti really raised a great point regarding indoctrination, and that is so true. I mean, he couldn't have explained it better. So that also helps me because when they say if this didn't happen, it ain't true, then they're like, well, it can't be true because something's not right.
Hey, Sister Bethy,
But
can I
they
see
can't
something?
pinpoint and fix it. Sure, go ahead, Jeremiah.
Yeah, cause my uncle got land in Virginia that was inherited by my peoples, and he in Norfolk, Virginia, and then he got his daughter in down there at Virginia Beach, and then I got some people in Suffolk, Virginia for real. All of them is tribes for real. But see, I think when it comes down to a lot of the elders in our family, they don't really actually break this type of stuff down. Whereas those that the next generation can get passed down this type of information. Because when we go to our family reunions and stuff like that, when we go down Virginia, they don't really like break down like the full like how they even got the land. They just be like, okay, like when one of our peoples died, they got it. So they don't
Yeah.
really break it down on terms of the reason for why they got it throughout the tribe. Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
other
so
than yeah.
so on that note, here's what we have to understand regarding the boomer children's grandparents. Let me put the sheet up because that really helps. And and you'll be able to see why. Here's the generation breakdown. The boomer generation, those born in 1946 to 1964. Their grandparents were silenced. They weren't allowed to say who you were because when we assimilated into the United States forcefully, they told us that we're automatically citizens. We had to go in under false identities. So they put us as blacks and Negroes and coloreds. So they were silenced from saying what Indian they were. They couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So we all had to
I
come
don't
in
know,
under.
Sister Betty. I don't know,
Yeah.
Sister Betty. See, the thing what happened with my peoples was like, cause my grandmother, she always knew that she was Pagotaway because my great grandmother, she was born in Montgomery County, Maryland. And
What
see,
year?
my great grandmother, my grandmother, she was born like in 1929. So then my great grandmother, she was born in the early 1900s. So she was born in Montgomery County around that area. My great grandmother, but my grandmother, she already was passed down that information. That's how she even met my grandfather on my father's side, because my grandfather on my father's side, he actually was supposed to be Blackfeet Indian for real. So she met him.
Okay, but you
So
still got to understand this. No, I'm not going to listen to your whole family history. You
yeah, I
got to
know.
understand this is they were silenced. You're talking Reconstruction when they was
Yeah.
hanging you. They couldn't say nothing. So they had to raise their children in a manner to save them. They had
Yeah.
to raise the children to save them from
But
being
the thing
hung.
is that my father and everybody always told us when we was younger who we was. And see, this
Yeah,
is the
but your
difference. I
father,
understand.
hold up. Your father is young. All right, he's not old.
Yeah.
He's not a
He was
boomer
born
jam.
1956 before
Right,
he
and it
died.
wasn't. It
Yeah.
was all. That was fine to tell. But we're talking 1800s, honey. You couldn't say nothing
Yeah.
during Reconstruction.
Right. See,
You
I
got
don't know
hung
how.
by your own. Our own people did this to us.
Yeah, I know
If
that's
we
the
said
thing.
what
Our own
Indian we
people.
was, because in order to come into the corporation and be enumerated and you pay taxes, you had to come in under a fake identity.
Yeah.
And see, this is the crazy thing, Sister Bethy. My peoples made sure that all our information was corrected. And this is what I was explaining on Smoke Channel last night.
And that's fine. That's fine. We're not going to go
Like,
into your family history because we
no,
all know it, Jeremy. We all know it.
Sister Bethy, I just want you to break this down to them because you actually corrected everything with yourself. Can you break down to them what's the difference when it comes down to the classification of this American Indian? Because I told them last night, when they say American Indian or Native American, it's two different people.
Yep.
It is.
Because in that
It is.
classification, it's
They
a
know it.
person,
They know
a
it, but you
person.
they know that, Jeremy. I'm not breaking nothing down because they do know it.
Yeah,
You
because they
gotta
act like they don't know that.
wait,
They act like they don't know how to
wait.
separate it
Jeremy, it's
in that
because you gotta
definition.
Jeremy, you don't gotta explain that no more. They know. And
Yeah.
you gotta
If it ain't
understand who you're communicating with on the panel. A lot of them are not us and they're angry. So their
right.
job is to make you angry. A lot of them can't even say it, can't say who they are, and they're not going to. You have people, you got to be careful. You have people
Yeah.
on these panels that are running around enticing behavior like yours, getting you upset so that they can put you on a list as terrorists. It's their job to do this. It's always been the job of the people that look like you, that ain't you, to make you look like the terrorists in the community. So you got to stop answering to their feedback. Everybody you're up on the panel with are not you.
Right.
Everybody on the panel you're on the panel with is not an Indian. Yeah, their skin complexion is wholly so, but are they you? No, they're not, because they know their history. They know who they are. One thing you got to know is the Brits, they brought their slaves to their islands, not to the United States. You got to know the British islands versus the United States territories. The Brits brought their slaves to their islands, not to America. The Indians wouldn't allow them to bring them here.
Sister
We were
Bethy,
already wholly so.
did they also like they know the difference? They know when they see you, right? A lot of them know when they see you, you know, like
Oh yeah.
and then they smile in your face and all that kind of stuff, but they know when they see you, you
Of
know.
course.
That's the crazy
Yeah,
part about it.
yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's the crazy thing. That's how I know that some of my people's married some of those type of people because like me, my brother, like we became like exiled in my family. That's why I always was like an outcast for real. And that's why I had to become independent. And when I went to my people's edition, because we just had an indigenous day for parade out to Monium Fairgrounds on the 19th and stuff like that. So all us got together as tribes and everything. I recorded all that type of stuff, but I gotta keep my stuff in private because my peoples don't want all this type of information out there like that.
Right, and
So
stop jumping on the panel, arguing and debating and trying to prove to people who you are. You don't
Yeah.
need to do that because the people you're telling this to are not you. They're angry. You have to understand we're in 2025 now, and Africans have come in from the island with passports,
yeah,
and they're
see, I
not
don't know
you.
that part because I ain't never
If
grow up around Africans
Africans,
and
listen,
stuff like that.
listen,
Like I don't know
hush,
nothing about them.
hold up. Keep your mic muted because the audience needs to know this too. Africans, okay, were brought to the British Islands. The Indians would not allow them to bring Africans here. As you can see, only 20 were brought to Virginia, and them probably weren't even Africans because they had Latin
I don't
last
think they
names.
were.
Spanish, they wasn't. Me neither. I think they came from somewhere. It could be Cuba or
Yeah.
one of the Latin-speaking islands. But now what you got to understand, and I'm going to tell you this, and I might hurt some people, and I don't care at this point. The British brought their African slaves to their British islands to work the sugarcane fields. One of the major islands is Jamaica, loaded with Africans, and Brazil. So those 20 odds I really think came from Brazil that came to Virginia. They speak Spanish. And I'm not going to keep saying this, and I don't care who get mad. A lot of the Jamaicans you see coming on the mainland with visa cards are Africans. The British have their records. And
Yeah.
the British tell you where they got them from. America, we don't do that. United States don't
right,
have
'cause
those type of records. There was no need because they didn't come here. There was horrific things that went on, but it was the Indians that were enslaved and overpowered by a strong militia here that was built with our ancestors.
But you know
So
what
I
bothers
don't
me?
care how. One more
It's
thing.
the
The Jamaican culture is like Africans. They eat like them. Their food, I don't care what people say. I'm sick of people saying this. It pisses me off because I don't come from a family that ate oxtails and curry and all that stuff. That is not our culture over here. My family, Jamaicans' culture is like Africans. If you look at Jamaica, it looks like Africa. I showed Willie a picture. He thought it was Africa. I said, no, this is Jamaica. They dance like Africans, everything, their moves, it's like African. That's not our culture. And I keep telling y'all, that's why they don't like you and they look at you. And these people on these panels, that's exactly who they are. They're called Jamaicans because a lot of them are being born here now, but they're still descendants of Africans. They can't fight for reparations because they need to go to Brit. That's who took you from Africa. You need to go to Britain, not United States. United States didn't have slaves.
Yeah, and then see the problem is what a lot of our people sometimes they get indoctrinated with the Asian Mongoloid stuff too, where it starts
Yeah, but
transforming their brain.
a lot of Asians and Mongoloids, they correct that stuff. They already know. They correct
Yeah,
it.
that's what I be trying to tell them
Okay?
too, because when they showed up at
There's a whole
hey, Sister
history in
Bethany,
Canada.
Sister Bethany, I'm gonna be 100 with you. When they showed up at the at my people's when they showed up at my people's Indigenous Day parade, these people actually let my peoples go first before they even went out there with their whole garbs on and dancing in circles and stuff like that. With their what they call it with Siberian type stuff. They let all peoples go first and then they went last.
Yeah, because their intentions is not to disrespect the original Indians of the land. That's never been their intention. But that's society. That's Pan-Africans doing that. But the thing is, don't feed into it. Don't feed
a lot of
into it.
them know. A lot of them know. I think the reason why some of them don't try to save us so much is because if they got federal recognition, they don't want to lose certain perks or just lose something in total. You know, like so they just play the hand that they got. You know, until
No, but
otherwise.
it's not really just that though, because I got people that got cars, and then I got people in my family that don't got cars. It's just the fact is that in this economy right now, you probably would be like, because most people be looking at me like Root called me out on a podcast like, oh, I don't got no car, but I'm like, I ain't never want to get a car because I don't want this person as a chief of this tribe as my peoples to actually have no say so over me because I'm independent. Like I'm independent myself.
Well, that's other platform stuff, which I don't care too much about. Over here, I teach the truth and I show my proof. I don't have time to debate. Debating is corny to me, but to see it on other people's channel is funny. I don't do that over here. I educate over here.
I
All
know,
I
Sister
do,
Betty, what you be doing, but I just don't like nobody to be calling me out because I know my
well, when they
genealogy. I
do
know my
that,
people.
Jeremy, when you took your class, your anger management class, when they do that, just keep your mic muted and don't respond to them. Only respond to people who's having a positive conversation with you. You can't let people keep getting you upset. You can't.
No, because I be wanting people that don't know this information, because there's people out here that I understand what you saying, Sister Betty, but it's people that's in the chat that
All
really
right,
want to know.
All right, hold up, Jeremiah. You're on Smoke's channel. I'm on Smoke's channel in the chat room enjoying myself. Everybody in that chat know they're a damn Indian. So you don't gotta, who are you teaching? You're teaching people about being Indian that been in YouTube more years than you. So you ain't got to do that. Smoke channel's the fun channel. We get to laugh at people. So you ain't got to argue and prove nothing.
It's just the Betty.
That's the fun channel. Stir shit, fun channel. Hey,
Sister Bethy.
go ahead, Real Gotti.
You know, I got a 90-year-old cousin, and she told me that what happened was, you know, we had to hide our identity because of what was going on in Virginia. You know,
Yeah.
she explained it to me like I didn't see. My mom's had basically told her something that I was doing because I was doing a whole lot of research, and so she said, "Let me talk to him," because I never said nothing to her about it. And then that's when she started like breaking it down, and I was like, "Oh, okay." She really in there on it, and no, and she's 90. She's not like the kind of 90 where she's confused and talk like, you know, maybe she's unsure and all of that. Like she was telling me like, no, this is what happened, blah blah blah, and she was just running it down. And I think when people start to really ask questions who have no idea at all, you know, and start doing their genealogy, I think they'll start to get a better understanding, because the timelines is another situation. They don't understand that certain things didn't exist. Certain states wasn't even around. They gotta really look and keep track. You know, like an investigator. They have to do it that way, or else they're going to just be still holding on to what the school told them and all kinds of narratives coming from out of, like, you know, mainstream media and things of that nature. They got to do the work.
Exactly. And Sister
Correct.
Bethy, you remember that time when I told you, when I actually said something to you about my mother said that her mother was mulatto, but the whole time she wasn't mixed, and somebody came back on your chat I watched a couple days ago and said that her mother was mulatto, but she wasn't mixed. I was like, see, this is where people get it confused at with the reclassification, because just because you probably was a lighter complected skin and probably had straight hair. See, this is the thing that they don't really even understand, because all peoples as different copper color complexions can come in different shades and different type of hair textures that can confuse anybody else that's not foreign to this land.
Right. But you also have to understand a lot of white people, a lot of them have third generation grandmothers that look exactly like me. And that's a fact.
Exactly.
They do. They do, and I'm keeping it a buck. They have like third generation grandmothers that literally look like me.
Yeah.
So we can't leave all that out. We did intervene with foreigners and fell in love with them, and we still do today. And there's
Yeah, you
nothing
got
wrong
to
with
tell
that.
the whole thing.
Nobody gonna tell me who to be in love with and who not to be in love with. Oh, you were getting checked at the door if you tried to tell me who to be in love with. If I marry a Chinese man, I'm still Sister Bethy, and I will check you at the door. You don't tell me who to be in love with.
Exactly, and that's why I was like, great. Like when I got into it with people over my baby mother's being pale face, I'm like, y'all don't even know that my baby mothers actually said that their grandparents was Cherokee, and what they meant by Cherokee was the dark skinned Cherokee people. I'm not talking about the Mongoloid
Yeah, that is
Asian people.
very, very much true here on this land. Just because somebody looks like Mariah Carey or any white person, their third generation grandmother could be look just like me. And that's a fact. I claim all my blood. I don't care what these fools say on YouTube. Stop telling them your business. It ain't none of theirs anyway.
No, it's not. Because
No, I know
it's
that
people
though.
sitting
See,
around that's
I
listening.
understand that though. See, but the difference with me is I ain't gonna lie to you. Ever since I was raised and the way that I actually was brought up and stuff like that, I stand on my truth. So I don't care about telling my business because I
Yeah,
can
but we
back up
want you to
everything
stop
that I
because
actually
I'm
say.
telling you what it's doing. When you do that, it really, and I'm telling you only because I love you as a brother. It messes up somebody's life when you continuously do that. It is, especially
Why you
on the
say that
live,
though? Why
because
you
it
say that?
does. But no, baby, because the audience gets fed up. We already know your story, and we love you. You don't have to keep explaining to people like Shay Shun and Not a Coincidence and all of them. You don't gotta keep doing that. You
I
don't
know,
gotta
but
keep
it be
saying
new
what
people that be popping
you
around
don't
and I
gotta.
be like, they don't
The
know. They
people that
don't
was
know
on
me.
there, I saw it at the show last night. She
Mm-hmm.
sent me the same certificate. The same people that was on that panel be everywhere. You don't have to argue with them. Just keep your mic muted. Even if they say something to you, you don't got to explain
Yeah,
nothing to them.
yeah.
You make
You
the
don't
show.
gotta do that with
You
them new
you
people.
throw the show off. You don't got to do
Yeah.
that. We all know Jeremy is Indian. They do too. They just want to pick fights. A lot of people are angry with themselves,
Right,
and you
and
gotta
I ain't gonna
let
lie, I
them.
feed into it
If,
sometimes
if,
for the
if you're
entertainment
ignoring them,
purposes.
if you're ignoring them, they don't got nobody to argue with. If you keep
No,
your
but
mic,
I feed into it sometimes, Sister Betty. I ain't gonna lie,
I'm
I feed
feeding
into it for
into
the
it.
entertainment
When you feed
purposes
into
too.
it, I'm telling you
Yeah, I
though. But when
mean,
you feed into it, Jeremy, it messes the show up. It
right.
do. It
Yeah,
do.
I didn't
Because
think
we
that
are.
because I mean,
Yeah,
because
it
a
do.
lot
It
of
do.
people want me to get
We
on
do.
there, cause
We do,
it's
but
some
we
people that
don't
be wanting
we
me to
don't
get
need
on
to hear
there.
your personal stories, Jeremy. Is what I'm saying. Because on
Yeah,
my channel, I'm not gonna let you talk about your program. I'm gonna congratulate you, and then that's the end of it. I'm not gonna hear a long story about somebody's genealogy. I don't want to hear it. I'm trying to teach
right.
the audience. When I lecture about history. I don't tell the same story every day. I lecture about history. I don't care what the Pan Africans say and people like Shay Shun, because I got a tool where I could block them. Either they're gonna be respectful and listen, or they're gonna leave. But I watch Smoke's channel at night because it's fun. It's funny. One of my favorite people on there is Superman. He's funny as hell, and he makes the show. Third shift. Smoke too. He's funny. So I enjoy watching it. BAP comes on now sometime again. And Willie and I enjoy watching it. We wake up out our sleep laughing at that damn fool, Superman. He funny as shit. I was literally asleep, and he started giving a church sermon, and we both woke up laughing out our sleep at Superman. So I watch Smoke Show because it's a show to enjoy and laugh. It's fun. So
Yeah, but see, Sister Betty, this is the thing. Like, I got my own little group on Facebook, right? So sometimes I actually, I send a message out to them, and then I invite them over, and I'm like, all right, like it's new people that's in my group that don't know nothing about this information and stuff like that. So I'd be like, all right, let me get on this. That's why I said my main goal was to go at the higher up people. That's why, like, automatically I went at Judge Joe Brown. Then automatically that dude that came into the community, that Mike TV dude, I was like, all right, let me put myself on this level so I can actually really put out the real information on my own level. But at the same time, I know the entertainment purposes when it comes down to it too. That's why when I went on Unscrambled Minds and all that different type of stuff, because that you gotta actually be entertainment. You gotta be entertaining with this stuff too.
right,
Yeah,
I
I
get it.
mean, but
I
all
get
my
it.
stuff is facts. Because a lot of people already tell me that I'm funny without even trying to be funny. Automatic.
You are, and I wish you would just stick to that part of you. You don't gotta argue with people who are not members of your family. You literally don't. People who are not aboriginal to this land are always gonna argue to the holy soul people.
Yeah, you
The
gotta be
holy
careful
tongue soul
not to
people.
get baited
All
into
right.
like doing something that throws everything off.
That's a fact.
I'm
Our
still
our
actually
records,
trying to learn
our
about that
records
part.
here, our records here on the mainland, none of our records chase us to Africa. None of them, because that's not where we're from. We're the holy soul people that Ben Franklin was talking about in America. And that's all you got to do. That's what I teach over here. If I'm going to teach, I'm going to teach some government official stuff. And Ben Franklin was a delegate, and he was a drafter of the U.S. Constitution. Who else better to get the information from?
Can I
So
ask
is
you a
it,
question
hey,
real
Sister
quick?
Beverly,
Yeah.
hold on, before you ask your question, let me ask you this question, Sister Beverly. I really don't like Tariq Nasheed, yo. But how do you really feel about him with what he be saying? Cause he actually is funny. He know how to actually see the problem that I really got with him is because I really want to jump on his podcast, but before I actually go at him, I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna come correct because I know how he can put people in their place because I seen him do that with King Cash when he jumped on
Well,
there.
you got to also remember he's not only a book writer, and he's also entertainment, and he's comedian. I like him. I don't have anything negative to say about him.
I'm just saying with the black thing, with the foundational black stuff, that still
I
throw
think
people off.
Tariq
With
Nasheed is aware of the American Indian, and this is what he chooses to do. And what am I going to do? I'm not part of that community
I
because when
know,
you
but you
say
don't
you're
think that that still actually creates some type of confusionness when it comes
well,
down to people.
in a way, it don't because remember, those black people are some of them are from not from the Americas.
That's right. That's
So
right.
a lot of
That's
his
right.
people are not from Americas. So they're gonna be in a community where they're accepted. Like if you're from Jamaica, and I know you are definitely you're a descendant from Africa, no, I don't need you in my company. You're not part of my community. So the community that he runs, those people are cool. They're Black Americans. They can't say that they're a Cherokee or a Chickasaw. A lot of them can't say that because they are not.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah, you
because
just put
it's
me on
different
to something.
communities on one island, and I think
Right.
that's where it's different communities on one island. So like, yeah, you can use the tag, but it's different communities on one island. Everybody ain't from the same place, but they're on one island. And I think
Right.
that's when things get a little like, people get jaded by that. So, it's like you gotta do your genealogy, you gotta do the reading, you gotta do the research. Um, and then if they already know certain things, that's probably the reason why you get those funny looks because they're already aware,
Yeah.
of
They
themselves.
know who you are and you don't. And it's the energy. Nobody likes the Indian. I mean, even back we're going back to 1700s when Indians was governor, but they called them the black governors. But even at that time, nobody wanted to deal with the Indian. In the writing, in our historical writing here in Connecticut, the white man said, okay, you be the mediator between the black community and the white community. What does that tell you? The white man didn't they didn't want to deal with no Indians. He told the role of the black mayor was to be the mediator between the black and the white community. Why wouldn't the white guy be the mediator? Because don't nobody want to deal with no Indians. Today we
Right.
got a different name for that. It's called Negro with the N
But
word.
you but
Nobody
they
want to
got
deal with them.
sections. They got
Only if they gonna
sections
black
over
you
there.
up, huh?
Like it's sectioned off there though. Like it's certain people live in certain sections, so they know within their own island as well. So that's why I don't even really go talk too much about that because they already know why it's sectioned off where they are over there. If you want to talk about over there in the island, it's sectioned off for a reason. Certain people stayed in certain areas for a reason. So like that's kind of like a no-brainer why you might see that kind of like
We were
different
always
looks and things of that
we were
nature.
always territorial people. We were always
Yeah,
territorial. The
right.
Indian the Indians pretty much stayed away from every foreigner that came over here until they came on their soil, their particular area. It was a problem with the Indian. It was always a problem with the Indian. You know who the Indian is because when you come in Indian territory, they're ready to fight you.
That's
I even remember
right.
that when
So,
I was little.
Sister
I
Bessie,
even
I
remember that
understand.
when I was little. Foreigners could not walk through our project back in the 70s. All the Indians running up the street chasing the foreigner. What are you
Sister
doing here?
Yeah.
Bessie, Sister Bessie, do you believe this though? Do you believe this though? Because I know that the United States was established in 1776, but when it came down to the Americas before that, do you believe that it's actually Aboriginal people in those Caribbean areas too before the Africans came?
Of course. That's who was here before all of them came. That's like you need to go back and watch the show. In the beginning, there was no Christian religion here. That didn't come until they came. So they brought to them what they wanted to practice here. We didn't have Christianity here. We didn't have Bibles. And if anybody tell you that an Indian had a Bible, they're telling you a damn lie. Because the Indians didn't have it until it was brought here. Prior to a European even stepping on this soil, there was no Christianity here. That came from another area of the world. We did other things. What we did, they said they didn't like it. Because we did voodoo and all that other stuff. That was what we did. We dealt with nature. And that's very true.
Yeah, because the beef seemed like it only consists of us actually being in North America, like because they don't got really no beef with people that's indigenous to other areas when it comes down to like South and Central America. Like they accept that even though they call them Afro, they call them Afro indigenous and stuff like that, but they don't actually beef with nobody other than the people that's from North America when the African label is applied.
Well, because the mainland is the area where all the business is done out here. So
right, and then I looked on a map and I seen that called. Right. Did you ever look at that?
Done on the mainland. This is the mainland.
Sister Betty, you ever looked on the map when it that was called Indian Superior? Like America was called Indian Superior at first. Did you ever see the map where it was called Indian Superior? No. Yeah. And see, that's where I came to the realization how
I seen that map.
Yeah.
Yeah, it said India Superior at the top of it where it says Canada. It'll be right across that top area.
That wasn't us though. That wasn't us.
You don't think so? Because Hicknewstan was in that place.
Well, the Iroquois were up there. The Iroquois was in that area before it was called Canada. So yeah, from that perspective, yes. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here because it's 2.5 hours. And Jeremy, I just want you not to fight. Don't feed into it. I don't want to have a whole conversation about it. You're doing great. Just worry about Jeremy and Jeremy's life. Stop showing them your personal business. You don't have to do that. Because oftentimes they don't have it. And they're angry. You have to remember.
I just had to do that.
You have to remember, people don't like the fact that you are indigenous to this land. Because it's kind of hard being a descendant from another country. It's hard. Because you then got to ask, well, why are you in your own country? You're in your own country already. Because
can I say one thing before you go?
Yes, you're from a country where everybody wants to come. And that's jealousy. You're already from here. You didn't have to come here. So that's
Sister Bethy, I had to do that only because Sister Bethy.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I'm talking about Sister Bethy for years upon years. They just kept asking like
Don't worry about
it. I know, but they kept asking.
He's not gonna be quiet because I'm trying to close my show. Go ahead, Gotti.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I think some of that anger is manufactured because they try to say that the Indians were enslaving Africans, not knowing that those were Indians that was being enslaved by Indians. So like they manufactured this situation so people wouldn't wake up and believe what they were pushing. So you wouldn't understand that couldn't have happened because they weren't here for that. Like that's why looking at the time at the mic.
Connect your mic. No, I'm talking to EJ. You got to connect your audio, EJ. Go ahead.
They
The
gotta
guy.
look at the timelines, because because their anger is misplaced because of what they believe, not knowing that that couldn't have happened and those wasn't those people. You know,
Facts.
so
Facts.
they sit on it. They sit on it and then try to wave that narrative at everybody who's claiming it, because they don't even know that they are probably Indian as well. And then they're not doing their due diligence by doing any genealogy. They're not looking at no timelines. They're not doing any of that. It's like their anger is refusing them to look to see if that's true or not. They just won't do it.
There you go. Right. Correct. That's a
So,
fact.
but thanks, Sister Betty. Keep doing your thing, and I
You welcome,
appreciate you.
sweetie. You welcome,
Okay.
my northern brother. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Hey,
All right.
Irma. EJ, hey.
Can I say something?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Get closer to your mic.
Can I say something? I've done genealogy, and I have found. Let me mute this. Okay. I've done my genealogy, and I have found that when I look for certain ancestors, that information has been stolen and claimed by other people trying to pretend they're Indians. I came across it firsthand. So when Jeremy, you keep saying that you go to these sites and you're trying to explain to people and or show people your genealogy, your history, that's opening up a big old can of worms, and that goes for everybody. They can take your information and use it claiming to be your ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
You have to stop doing that. It is imperative. If you really, really want to find your ancestors, put it in a book. Share it only with your immediate family, not with the whole world. There are people coming over here by the droves trying to claim someone else's identity.
Yep.
If you're putting that out there, you're giving them your identity. You're like saying, here, take this, use this. If they know for sure your ancestors are deceased, it don't take a lot to go and dig up a social security number once you have the name, you have when they were born, where they lived. You have to be careful of that, people, when you're out there doing your ancestry work. Don't share it with everybody because it's not everybody else's business.
Right.
That's right.
I
You
know, and you most definitely right, and that's why I always told them that my people's got their stuff on private. So I never actually put out certain information. Like last night, what I did was I actually only showed on a documentation as my race on one of my doc. I don't got my social security number on there because my bank account was hacked before. So I'm most definitely not going to do nothing like that. But
Sweet, social security card number is easy to get.
yeah, I know because they
You
can
really don't
actually
want to
do that
show
by
your
your real
name.
name and stuff. Yeah, yeah. And
Just
that's why I
having
was
your
like kind of
name.
cautious even about doing that. But I was like, I'm just so sick and tired of them just keep on saying like it's nobody able to prove for a fact is that they actually have that on their race as a classification. So I was like, let me just do this and get this out
Nah,
of the way.
you gotta understand technology. You gotta understand when somebody's tricking you to reveal something, because like they can go on your Facebook. If you got a Facebook account with your real first name and last name, that's how a lot of people was getting hacked and their information was getting stolen. So like you gotta understand when somebody's trying to get underneath your skin to make you not be able to think straight, because that's how it works. It's always underneath the guise of making you mad, because then you can't think straight. Your IQ drops when you get upset. That's why when you calm down, you be like, "Dag, I wish I would have did this. Dag, I wish I would have did that,"
Oh, I
because you
wish
don't
I
understand.
had said this. I wish I had not have said it that way. Or
Right? You got to understand war. You got to understand war when you in it.
Mhm.
If Hey, oh, something happened. I don't know what happened, but you got to understand war
No,
when you
you
win it.
good.
You got to understand war when you win it. You got to understand when somebody trying to get underneath your skin, that's war.
Mm-hmm.
That's war right there because they transferred it. This how it works really. If you make someone mad, they make a mistake.
Yep.
So you got to understand that that's how it works. So you got to know how to keep your cool so you can play your hand correctly. Because if somebody get underneath your skin, why you think they made so many movies to show you that? They make movies out of like just for entertainment purposes, but it'll be telling you that they're using the art of war in it. They'll show somebody getting in somebody's head, and then that person, they doing it to make that person lose. It could be a funny movie. It don't have to be a serious movie. You got to understand when you in that arena, you got to know your audience.
Yep.
You definitely got to know your audience because it's not about proving nothing to somebody you don't know anyway.
Exactly.
Facts. And you got to remember there are agents sent on here to do this to you. It
Yup.
doesn't make sense for you to keep arguing with the same damn people. Let Smoke's channel be Smoke's channel. Let it be the fun channel that it is. I always look forward to watching Smoke channel when I get off of here because I like to laugh. But over here, I teach.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
But
So,
I'm
so
gonna call you when
Sister Betty,
I'm gonna call you.
so Sister
I'm about
Betty, you. Let me ask you a question about Smoke Channel. You can't go over Smoke Channel with nothing serious, then?
I love Smoke channel. I don't need to be on the panel.
No, I'm just saying, can't nobody go on there with nothing serious? That's what you saying? Like,
No,
like,
no. That's not what I'm saying.
You missed
What I'm saying is you do not have to keep arguing with the same people. You done already proved it to them. You don't have to keep doing it. The same
unless
people.
you like conflict.
Right.
And
You don't got to
you
keep
don't really
proving
know,
yourself.
right? You don't even know what their efforts are really about. They trying to get some information. A lot of them be trying to get particular kind of information because they want to either like they agents like somebody just said, they either agents or they trying to figure out like, all right, how do I blend in or whatever the case may be. You just don't know. So you really ain't got time for that. You just got to really stick to what's really being
Right.
talked about and don't go all deep into your own personal stuff because you don't want nobody to be having that much information on you anyway.
Right. And you got to understand these agents are put out here on YouTube. It's their job to put you as a terrorist rather than a civil United States citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot came out of the Democratic Party. Everybody who you think it is could be an FBI agent, could be a police officer, anybody looking to get you in trouble
You
and
know,
putting you in a position or on a terrorist list. You
my
don't
mother,
know what their intentions are, but you're feeding into them. Don't do it. Stop. They
my
already know who
mother,
you are.
my mother used to always tell us, close your mouth and open your ears and your eyes.
Boom.
You will learn so much more.
Yeah, if you just shut up and just listen, you listen to people arguments. Let
Mhm.
other people argue.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it used to get under my skin when Morris come and start teaching that UCC shit. Now I just listen and sit back and just laugh because I already know that the FBI and I show them this and they still don't care. And the FBI and the IRS is onto their shit. But them teaching it, they're just leaving the doors open because now they done got hip to them creating straw mans. All them straw man people are going to be put on lists now. They're going to lose if they're made as a 501c3 or whatever, where they're going to be watched now and deemed frauds and fake shit. So I'm just waiting because they're onto it. Look, if their whole process is on the FBI's website, that should tell you a lot. not to listen to them when they're teaching.
Unless you like getting caught up.
Facts. But I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna call you when I get off my live. I'm gonna call you. I love y'all, brothers, sisters.
All
Love
right.
y'all
Love
to
you
the moon
too.
and back.
Here.
Love
I'm
y'all.
going to relax. I'm going to relax. And y'all have a beautiful evening, man. I'm going to Smoke Channel so I can wait
Right.
for Superman. Wait for Superman to come on so I can laugh.
All
Hold
right.
up, for real. All right, EJ, I'm gonna call you.
All right.
I know you seen the email about the math, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, good.
I was
All
happy.
right, sweetie. Yeah, I was just frustrated, but we're
Yeah, I
good.
figured as much.
It's I
It's
was start up in January. I
all
was
good. You're here.
overworking myself. All right, love y'all. I'm out.
All right now.